This is the second video of Section 1, the Math for Chemistry section. We're continuing our exploration to scientific notation. Remember, scientific notation allows us to work with very large and very small numbers much more easily than working with them in standard fashion. And in this video, we're going to be dealing with the math with scientific notation, notably multiplication and division. I'm going to show you how to do multiplication and division by hand, but in class I will show you how to do it on your calculator, but you should be able to do it both ways. Let's go back to the previous video where we had our bag of sugar where I blocked out the weight. In that video we determined, or I told you, that there were this many molecules in the bag of sugar and that each molecule of sugar weighed this amount. And if you took the number of molecules of sugar and multiplied it by the mass per molecule, you would get the mass of the bag of sugar. So without scientific notation, you'd end up with something that looked like this, which if you want to do by hand means you got an awful lot of zeros to account for, and you'll probably miscount them and get the wrong answer. But if you try to plug them into a basic calculator, such as the TI-30X, which parenthetically I think is the perfect calculator for this class, you can't plug the numbers into this calculator. This is where scientific notation comes into play. As I said, I'll show you how to do this on the TI-30 in class, but you should know how to do it by hand so you have an idea of what the correct answer will be. So here we put into scientific notation 3.95 times 10 to the 24th molecules times 5.71 times 10 to the minus 22nd grams per molecules. That will give us the mass of the bag of sugar. When you're multiplying in scientific notation, there are three rules to follow. The first, you take the coefficients and multiply them in the standard fashion. Secondly, you take the exponents and you're going to add them. And third, you're going to make sure you're in the correct form. The coefficient greater than or equal to 1, but less than 10. So let's follow the rules. First one, we're going to multiply the coefficients. So we're going to take 3.95, multiply it by 5.71, and that's 22.5545. Step 2, we're going to take the exponents, the 24 and the negative 22, and add them together. And 24 plus negative 22 is 2. So we would say that right now our answer is 22.5545 times 10 to the second grams. But we're not in the correct form. Our coefficient is greater than 10. We're going to move the decimal point to the left because this number is greater than 1. So we're going to increase our exponent, and the correct answer would be 2.25545 times 10 to the third grams. Now, just to see how close we are to the real value, we're going to need to convert this to kilograms, and you will learn how to do in section 2. So the answer now is 2.25545 kilograms. So here's the sugar bag with the answer that we got. The sugar bag says it weighs 2.26 kilograms, but if you round our answer to 2 decimal places, you get 2.26 kilograms. It really works. Division is done in a similar but different fashion. Here you're going to divide the coefficients. Now you're going to subtract the denominator exponent from the numerator exponent and be sure you're in correct form. So let's take this equation, 2.17 times 10 to the 12th divided by 6.2 times 10 to the 9th, and see what we get for an answer. I write it like this, where the slash is used as a division sign. And you'll see me doing this throughout the year on videos and on worksheets and exams. So remember, the slash is the same as the divided by sign. So the first thing we're going to do is divide the coefficients. We're going to take 2.17 and divide it by 6.2, and you get 0.35. We're then going to subtract the denominator exponent from the numerator exponent. There are exponents in purple. So we're going to take 9 and subtract it from 12. 12 minus 9 is 3. So we now have 0.35 times 10 to the third. But it's not in the correct form because this number is less than 1. So we're going to move the decimal point to the right, which means we're going to decrease the exponent by 1. And the correct answer is 3.5 times 10 to the 2. Now, The parentheses are very, very important, especially if you're using a graphing calculator. Why are they important? Well, take a look at the equation we started with and take away from the parentheses. And you may go, well, it looks the same, but you need to think of order of operations. So here, you take the 2.17 and you multiply it by 10 to the 12th, and you get 2.17 times 10 to the 12th. You then take that whole number and divide it by 6.2. Well, that's what your calculator will do. And now you have 0.35 times 10 to the 12th. Now you multiply it by 10 to the 9th. 12 plus 9 is 21, so now your answer is 0.35 times 10 to the 21st. We'll put it into correct form. You have 3.5 times 10 to the 20th, but the answer we really wanted was 3.5 times 10 to the 2. The answer we got by not using the parentheses is 1 billion times too large. Parentheses are important. So I'm going to give you a couple of practice questions, and then you can go do the worksheets. Here's the first practice question. You've got 4.55 times 10 to the minus 4th times 2.10 times 10 to the 23rd. Stop the video, work it out yourself, come back and check the answer. The correct answer is 9.555 times 10 to the 19th. Step 1, we're going to multiply the coefficients. That's 4.55 times 2.10, and you get 9.555. Step 2, we're going to add the exponents. So we take the negative 4 plus 23 is 19. So now we have 9.555 times 10 to the 19th. We make sure we are in correct form. 9.555 is less than 10 but greater than 1, so that's fine. So that is the correct answer. Practice question 2. 4.225 times 10 to the 5th divided by 6.5 times 10 to the minus 8th. Stop the video, do it preferably by hand, come back and check your answer. Go. And the correct answer is 6.5 times 10 to the 12th. First step, we're going to divide the coefficients. So 4.225 divided by 6.5 happens to be 0.65. Now we're going to take the denominator away from the numerator. So here we have 5 minus negative 8, and so you get 10 to the 13th. We need to put this in the correct form. The decimal point needs to be moved to the right, so the exponent will decrease, and you get 6.5 times 10 to the 12th. And that was the answer that was given earlier. So to review, for multiplication, you are going to multiply the coefficients, add the exponents, and be sure you're in the correct form. For division, you're going to divide the coefficients, subtract the denominator exponent from the numerator exponent, and be sure you're in the correct form. That's all there is. I will show you in class how to do this on a TI-30 calculator. I think that it is the best calculator for the chemistry class. Next video will be on algebra for chemistry.